Hey scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app, and this week we had a question from Les asking about different copper-bearing materials, also known as CBM, copper-bearing materials, that scrapyards take that you can look for. Now we know that many of you are copper experts. You can sniff it out, smell it, find it, hunt it, gather it, and put it all into a big pretty bundle. But for those of you that might be beginning scrappers, let's go over some examples of copper-bearing material today. Here I have multiple different options. We have regular copper wire. Now of course something like this, you can see the copper inside. You might end up stripping the copper inside, but we wanted to show you these are the things that you see in power lines, inside of buildings, and of course there's copper inside. Alternators and starters out of cars. Now you can see these, and you might see this aluminum frame on the outside, but inside there, those little pieces are all copper. And those pieces inside can be either taken out or sold to the scrapyard as is. If you're able to find a good auto parts buyer, sometimes you can get 50% or double scrap prices for rebuildable parts from cars, alternators, and starters. Here we have a normal electric motor. Now if you look on the side, you can also see the windings inside, and if you're able to take a file, you can file those before you cut them open and see if they're aluminum. Oftentimes, a lot of the new motors are actually aluminum wound, and when you look at the ends, they all look very similar, but one telltale sign is some of the wires going in are all copper ground inside, and then they connect. So these are most likely copper motors, so those of you that take these motors apart, it's always very smart to scratch them to make sure that they're not aluminum and that they are copper. Here we have ballasts. We generally don't recommend ballasts being taken apart, but here's one. Inside of it there will be a very small transformer, and on the sides you can see the scrapper cut the copper wires off ahead of time just to be able to sell it as clean as possible and then sell the wires as clean as possible. Now this, while this doesn't exactly have copper, it does have, copper-ish material inside. These are all brass ends. When you open it up, you also can look inside, and at the depth in there, there's another piece of brass. So you could take this apart and sell it to the scrapyard as well. Other copper-bearing materials, other than regular copper pipe, you have those different motors, your sealed units, your compressors, all types of wire gauges from Romex to computer wire, and there's a lot of other categories that you can click on and see other videos that we've made here at iScrap. Plus, we appreciate the question. If you have any other questions or any scrapper have questions that you want us to directly address, let us know. But until next time, I'll scrap you later.